an attack, we are not necessarily hunting for malware. Instead, we are hunting for things like human attacker behavior, which we normally call as tactics, techniques, and procedure, also known as TTPs. So when security teams discover an incident, they need to conduct an investigation. They need to perform kind of digital forensics to understand what happened and how it happened, so they can properly remediate and avoid similar attacks in the future, right? So it is important for these teams to have the right tool to achieve the same. So when, as a security analyst, you receive an alert for a potential breach in the environment, you want to answer or have answers for these questions at least. You need to understand whether the attack was successful or not, whether you are dealing with a human or a malware or botnet. Was there any command and control activity in that attack? Was there any lateral movement activity happening during the attack? And was there any data theft happened in the environment? And whether or what other systems were touched by the threat actor? So let's see how we can easily do that in minutes with Trellix endpoint. So when Trellix agents detect malicious activity on a system, we are not just throwing an alert. We also send a triage packages. And what triage package is, it's a focused timeline of event. We are sending this in automatic way, so to your management console, so security teams does not have to do this step manually. Aiming from this automated workflow to reduce the mean time to detect and to respond. As you can tell from the screen, this is a snap for triage summary package, and it's a focused timeline of events around the time of compromise or the incident. It has all the information you might need to understand the attack and tell the story. Back in the day, investigation wasn't an easy task. Ask those who made it before 15 years or so. At that time, our goal was to simplify the investigation process and to make it easier for even those who don't have the experience or the extensive background in IR practice. Triage summary is an intuitive, colorful, and easy to use interface that allows security teams to, with this experience, even to understand the attack activities and how it happens and interact with the environment over time. As we go through this from procedure perspective and how it interacts with each other and with system components, like file system, registry, proceeds, you can find answers to the questions we just show in the previous slide, which could be which accounts is compromised, what tools the attacker is using, how the attack happened in the first place. So in brief, triage summary is where we at Trellix recommend you to start your investigation when you have an incident. But if you want more detailed, we get you covered. Along with the triage summary, we also provide a full triage package. And full triage package, the difference between them when compared to triage summary is the full triage package will give you everything you need from the compromised system. You will have more details, more information, things like system information, user accounts on the system, scheduled tasks, services running on the system, and even prefetch browser history and much more. Now assume you get, you started your investigation and you get an interesting artifact during your investigation, like a tool dropped by the attacker or file being, or some files being packaged and shipped out your network. With acquisition capability and with just a matter of clicks, you can obtain this file or have your hands on a copy of this file. And it's not just files. It's you can acquire different things. You can acquire proceeds, any data from the system, like process from memory or the full memory itself, files from the disk, command shell or the shell history, and much more. Just to make you aware of this, acquisition is manual process that has to be initiated by the analyst against any system at any time. So you don't have to wait for the system to be compromised in order to get such artifacts or to investigate something. You can do this at any time. One of the coolest feature we have is the customization for data scripts. So if you feel there is a piece of information that is quite important for you during your investigation and you want to have this like certain registry from the system, or maybe event logs or another attributes or artifacts you want to have look into, you can customize this because we provide you the data scripts we are using to collect data from the system, and you can customize it and build your own packages and acquisition scripts. So enterprise search. Now let's have a look on enterprise search and how it can help. Enterprise search provides security teams the capability they need to sweep their endpoint population and search their systems at a scale. Why would you need that? Imagine a situation you are running an investigation and you come up with an interesting artifact, like malicious process or compromised account or something else. And at this point, you want to confirm or scope your investigation. You want to confirm whether this file or this malicious process is running on other systems or not. You want to find out if there is any system that can be, that the attacker has touched as well. Another use case for this is you have heard about a new attack campaign that is active in the wild, and you have received some IOCs or some indicators around this. In that case, enterprise search is your friend. It's an easy-to-use tool. It helps you to scope your investigation, to find systems that have certain attributes or certain artifacts you are looking at. It allows you to ask your endpoint a question and get answers in a few minutes. Another use case for hunting or for using enterprise search is hunting. So you can build hypotheses and you start using enterprise search to hunt for this or to prove whether it's right or not. Think of things like processes starting from temp or uncommon directory. You can start looking for things around this. The number of things or attributes you can search is huge, or you can search into enterprise search is huge. And what you are seeing here is just categories for things. You can search for file system, the whole file system on user endpoint. You can search the browser history. You can search anything related to proceeds, drivers, registry keys, event logs, and much more. There is also a full webinar available on Trellix YouTube channel for demystifying enterprise search. I highly recommend those of you who are interested in the topic and how to leverage it or the capability more to go and check this out. It will give you more details on the capability itself. And here is few examples showing case of what you can do with enterprise search. I'll pick this one. In this search query, I'm querying all endpoint if there is any successful network login attempt containing this user account. The reason behind this is we have, I believe that this account is compromised, and we have seen this in one of the attacks. So I'm trying to see if the attacker have used this elsewhere in the network. Another example here is we are trying to find any file that have 7Z in its header, but does not have the same in the name. This way, this is kind of disguising technique used by the attacker to hide files and to kind of tricking you into believing something in a file that is not true. Next is login tracker. And login tracker, as you can see here, it's our capability to detect lateral movement activity. Login tracker visualize the login activities between your systems. It works perfectly on Windows and Linux, and it's not limited to certain protocols. It can capture RDP connection, remote desktop connections, SSH logins happening in the network, and any network connections or activity like LDAP communication, WMI, remote procedure call, network shares, and more. One thing I want to call out here is it shows you and lists the successful and failed attempts. It's not just triggering or on certain thing or event. It will show all things, and you can use the filters here to narrow down the view and see things you are interested in. So if you are focusing on account which is compromised, you can filter down by the user account. If you are looking into specific system or zone, you can filter based on machine name or IP address or even segment of addresses. Login tracker gathers historical data, which means it can reveal malicious activity happening in your environment even before, or just happened in the environment even before the agent installation. And this is huge. Like you can have an incident happened in the past 6 months, and after you install the agent recently, you start to cover things. Such capability support your investigation. When you have an incident, you can quickly identify how the attacker move in your network. Another use case would be hunting for unusual login activity taking place in your environment, like remote RDP connections coming from public IP addresses, which is quite suspicious, or RDP connection or SSH connection to critical assets or critical servers from untrusted zone. You can also set up some alerting rules for the same. So you will be notified in real time when we have something like this happening. The next capability we have for you is host remediation, which extends your live response and remediation capabilities. Host remediation provides security teams with privileged command line access to their endpoint. So they can execute commands as part of their maybe live response. You want to acquire more data from the system, like packet capture, to confirm if there is command and control activity happening or still happening, or to remediate systems like deleting or stopping malicious service that's running, and deleting malicious file or reverting some configuration that has been detected. Host remediation is scriptable. This is one of the things, which means when you have repetitive tasks, you can just script this in Bash or shell script and use it once to execute the same on different systems. Final thing I want to call out here is all commands executed in host remediation is going to be recorded for auditing purpose, just in case anybody in the call got concerned about the potential abuse for such capability by security teams. just to give you a heads up on how can you use this, this is an example for remediation script. It's bash script. As you can see, this is anything started with rem is just description for the command, and here is the actual command. So in this script, we are trying to remediate from ransomware, which called intranet.exe. We terminate the process, we delete the malware, and we remove the directory for malware, removing the malware from run keys, which is a persistence mechanism. And finally, we delete the account that has been created by the malware. Now, let me show you a very quick demo on a couple of things, which triage summary and post remediation. I'm going to share my screen in a second for the demo environment. Guys, feel free to ask questions in the chat, and we'll.
Yes, while you set up the demo, Khaled, I can just start answering the first question from Ruslan. The Trellix endpoint will be based on the best features of protection, detection, and response coming, of course, from both the brands, McAfee and FireEye. So this is the question. You go on, Khaled, with yours. I just wanted you to have your time to prepare the demo. Go on.
Perfect. So here's the triage summary. And because, as you can see, this nice interface with colors, timelines, proceeds listed on the left. And you have 5 lanes here for exploits, proceeds, network, registry, and files. So if we have a close look as security analyst on this, we can see here tags, and this tags is quite helpful when you need to decide whether the attack was successful or not. So if you have an exploit tag followed by execution, this means the attack was successful. And this is not a good sign. And this is the process which being exploited, which is Internet Explorer. As you can tell, if you scroll and you choose the process, all data in the right will be filtered according to this. So if you want to see what happened with CMD, here is a command. CMD opened, and this command was executed, which actually running a script. Same for others. The good thing we have here also, we are capturing arguments, process which has been exploited. Internet Explorer has been exploited, and usually this happens because of accessing some malicious URL. If you want to tell, so what happens here, if you click on this, you're gonna see the user was visiting this URL and then another URLs. Microsoft and DigiCert kind of trusted website. So our belief is this is the site which caused a compromise or exploitation for the browser. And then you started to see some file activities, some files downloads. So after execution or exploitation of Internet Explorer, there is another execution in Event Viewer. And if you can see here, Event Viewer was able to, or was exploited, and there is PowerShell activity started from there. If you have a look on PowerShell activity, PowerShell was able to do a lot of things. One of them was able to call back to a certain domain, and the number here is indicating kind of cadence call to this URL, which means this is a callback. And during this callback, there is additional tools that has been downloaded here. If you scroll and open all of this, you will be able to confirm what really happened. So 3 files, one of them is help.bat. And one of the capabilities we have today for you is when we get you information about file on the system, we are also providing offset, and offset here is just the 64 byte of this file, the first 64 byte of this file. So you can understand what is there in this file even without acquiring or having your hand on this file. So in this example, this batch file have net commands starting at the script. Another file which is quite interesting here is program.bat. This file is trying to trigger or to kick on this malicious file. And we'll see what is happening in this file in a second. Other file is, or the same file here, this is the same file. And this file is DLL. But what's interesting is this file is starting with MZ. So for you guys who knows this, MZ means this is an executable. It's not a DLL file. And if you go to details of this file, you will see this file was called out as an executable to run some command and to add kind of files or to create files here. This is the file it creates. It's .chm, but also it starts with 7D. What you can understand from this is attacker is creating files, and this file is a zipped file, but he's trying to trick you and make you think it's a Windows help file. Having a look at other processes, you can see how the attacker used net command to log into other systems in the network. And he's using credentials, and credentials seems to be admin credential. This is quite interesting. And thing is here become more serious. The attacker have domain credential in your environment. This is not good. Again, add command, most of you are aware of it, and add command, if you're not aware, this is the command line you can use to schedule a task on a system. The attacker is using the same to schedule or to maintain presence on the systems. I guess this is enough for today's channel, but you see, when you go through this, you will reveal a lot of information, you will understand how it goes, and yeah, you will be able to tell the story. Moving to host remediation, if you have a need to connect to the system, maybe to collect more data or to do live response activity, to interact with the system, you don't have to wait for someone from IT to give you access or to arrange a remote desktop session between you and the user. You have this in seconds. I just click connect and I'm connected. And if you want to confirm the privilege I have, I'm connected with system privilege. So you can execute whatever command applicable to the system, and it works perfectly fine with Windows and Linux as well. As a matter of fact, I have this system which is connected. I have it here connected through desktop. And let me try to do a couple of things or a couple of small things here. I'm gonna try to kill this process, which is calculator process, and I'm gonna remove this file. So in order to do this, first, let me check the running processes. So task list will show me the processes. And here I should be able to see the calculator. Yeah, this is the one. So it has process ID and it has process name. So I can use any of them to kill the process. So I'm gonna use the name. So in order to use the name, you have to use the switch/im, and you have to put the name. And when you do this, you can also put the switch/force. And if you're good, you're gonna get success message. And if we check the machine, the process is killed. Another thing we can do, we can delete files. So let me just remove this file. So change directory to C and confirm the file is there. So here we go. We have malicious.exe on that machine, and in this directory as well. I'm gonna remove malicious. Here we go. Since we don't have any error, yeah, the file has been deleted. You can do this or leverage this as much as you can. You can use it in remediation to apply system fix or updates or patches. You can do all of this. You can revert some register modification and so on. With that, I just wanna conclude this webinar. Just to recap, what we have just seen is with triage packages, we are able to investigate an incident and tell the story of an attack. Next, with data acquisition, we were able to continue our investigation and to extend our live response capabilities by acquiring data and artifacts from a compromised system. And we usually do this for deeper analysis or reverse engineering. With enterprise search, we were able to scope our investigation and to uncover other systems that get touched by the attacker. And finally, with host remediation, we have seen how we can exfiltrate or how we can extend our live response and remediation capabilities, allowing security teams to interact with the systems without any need for additional tools or delayed workflow, like contacting someone to give you access. Now, before we conclude our webinar, just wanted to bring your attention to this. Endpoint protection is foundation and an essential part. It is essential for defending against today's threats, but with the complexity of the threat landscape and the attack surface or attack sophistications we are seeing today, EDR is not enough. Visibility and correlation across different vectors like network, email, identity, cloud, and even applications are crucial and required to mitigate sophisticated attacks like we are seeing today. It's required to uncover hidden threats and to reduce false positive and to solve also the alert fatigue issue. And on top of that, to reduce the mean time to detect and respond. And this is what XDR is all about. This is how we see it in Trellix. This is how we build our vision and our XDR strategy. First, we need to understand that XDR, it is not a single product. It's not an next-gen EDR. It's not an enhanced version or EBB version 2 or EDR version 2. It's a framework. It's an architecture that has different layers, as you can see. It has layer for sensors, and sensors here should be all security tools you have. It has layer for data lake, where we collect all telemetry. It has layer for cloud analytics and intelligence. It has layer to present the outcome and automation piece. At Trellix, we provide our customers a native and open XDR architecture that collect and analyze telemetry from point solutions we have, and as well as third-party solutions. As a matter of fact, we have 600 plus integrations today, and we keep adding to them. So with threat intelligence as well and cloud analytics, we apply to collected telemetry, we uncover anomaly behaviors, advanced attacks, and unknown threats. Also with the automation piece, we are able to help and to reduce the mean time to respond to attack or a threat. So in summary, while EDR is the foundation and it's important in cybersecurity strategy and it's important component as well in XDR framework, it is just one piece of the larger puzzle. XDR solution provide more comprehensive, more integrated approach to threat detection and response. With that, we came to the end and we are almost on the top of the hour. So let's see if we have any questions that we can take very quick. Rico, you have questions?
Yes, I brought to you a couple of questions you may be answer. It's on our chat.
Stop sharing.
Yes, and we have just 1 minute, and then we have to close to make everyone go back to work.
Okay.
So regarding the forensics, the integration with the DoD, and I think it's already provided with the enricher module. Can you confirm?
So I have lots of questions here. I'm not sure which one you selected, but
In the chat, but I can read to you the integration of forensic with the DoD. It's provided already with the enricher module, right?
exactly. So when it comes to the sandboxing piece and how you can bring dynamic analysis to our endpoint solution, we have it today. We have it implemented in enricher module. If you have